Right this.
What's up?
Everybody's
Get
favorite.
it out. Are you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Guys, thanks for riding.
Woo!
You want to ask him
here.
a question?
Yeah,
Ask him who's going to win the Super High Indy Challenge.
Who's going to win the Super Indy? No.
High challenge.
Who's
No,
gonna
the
win?
High Challenge and the tournament.
All right,
tickets
let's
to
see.
winner.
My pick for the high challenge, Saban. Let's see, Super Indy.
You want?
Let's see, that's a tough one. I'd have to go with
Hey, could you not talk while he's trying to talk?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Alex
sorry.
Shelley. I say Alex Shelley, just since he's the underdog.
Ask this little kid, faggot over here.
Who's going to win the Super Indy High Challenge?
Hentai.
How about the tournament?
Delirious.
Lyrius?
Yeah.
Same questions.
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Shaggy.
Okay.
Kudo's gonna win.
He's gonna,
Me,
he's gonna
and then we're gonna win them both. Me and him.
How about?
And then
Okay. This guy.
he's getting caught, okay.
Fabulous and delirious.
Nice and hilarious. Already.
Fabulous and delirious. I like it.
My fans right here.
Marcus.
How we doing? How we doing?
What's going on, Marcus?
Good. Who's going to win the Super High Indy Challenge?
Saban.
Saban. What about the tournament?
Delirious.
Saban Delirious?
Don't know, it's my first time.
Your first time?
That's his better
Ride
half.
ABC Cherry.
Marcus. She's his better half.
His guy.
I told you they weren't.
Hey, how you doing, Marcus?
Oh,
I know you're
good.
checking me out.
I know.
Is this a private video, baby, for you?
This is
Okay.
P. Anyway, who's
up
going to
to
win
the
the
camera,
Super
Derek.
High Indy Challenge?
What's that?
Super High Indy Challenge.
Yes.
Who's going to win?
Who's gonna win? I would say Saban.
Yes.
I think Chris Saban.
How about the tournament?
The tournament.
You know, we don't have all day here. Man.
I'm thinking. I gotta think because there's a lot of good competitors in the
It's only a
tournament.
6-hour thing.
I would say Petey Williams, so I'm going with. I think they're the Claudio. Hey, that's all he can do. Hey, oh, Claudio don't have a chance. But I do think Claudio will make it into the finals. I think it'll be Petey versus Claudio in the finals.
I'm giving Troy Lords a chance. How about you?
The High Super Indy Challenge, I gotta go with Hentai.
Hentai? How about the tournament?
Claudio.
Claudio? This guy in the back hiding.
Hey, come teach me, Eric. You're more white than I am.
He doesn't know anything
He
yet.
doesn't know anything? Alrighty.
Newbie.
Newbie.
I want Delirious to go all out. Delirious.
How about the Super High Indy Challenge?
Who do you think, Luke? Hentai. Hentai, then.
Hentai?
Hentai.
Oh, who's on me? Get off me.
I'm Hentai with them, but for the tournament, I'm going with balls all the way.
Balls?
Oh, no.
Claudia. You don't know?
There's gonna be a quiz.
Delirious.
How many newbies?
Chill out. You're not a girl now. Chill out. Is that you?
Duh.
I'll knock you out. Alrighty.
Aaron.
I'm trying to make money here. Okay, focus.
Okay, ready, and action.
Who's gonna win the Super High Indy Challenge?
I don't know. I didn't look at the site.
Saban. Just say Saban.
Saban. Okay.
Saban.
Whatever he says.
Okay, how about the tournament?
I don't know. Who do you say, Derek?
I said Claudio and Petey in the finals, but you make your own mind up on
Okay,
that.
whatever he says.
Troy Lawrence.
Well, you're not making the DVD.
I don't know.
Alrighty, let's go to this girl.
Which one?
Super High Indy Challenge.
Super high. Saban.
Saban, how about the tournament?
I'm going to be rooting for Glenn, but I think Petey and who's the Italian one in Castagnolia? Yeah, I think it's going to be those two.
No one gives Troy a chance. Oh, come on, buddy.
Who's gonna win Super Indy?
Oh, she hasn't been here since.
What about the Super High Indy Challenge? Fabulous.
I'm gonna have to go with Hentai to win the Super High Challenge and to win the tournament. It's gonna be Matt Seidel.
Matt Seidel.
I have no clue.
You have no clue?
These guys will love being on camera. Here you go.
These guys, look at these guys right here.
Derek, we're trying to conduct business here, man.
All right, hey. What?
Sorry, Marcus.
Winner of the Super High Indy Challenge. What do you think?
Chris Saban.
What about the tourney?
I don't know. Who do you think about that one?
I said it would be Claudio.
It's not his opinion, it's your opinion.
You didn't do your homework.
I didn't do that homework.
Same questions. Come on!
I have no clue.
All right, come on.
Two. I gotta press
Give it a
record.
one time, Chandler Biggins. Hey, you ever pay Ray Rowe $150? This guy is. Wow.
There's Marcus. Give it up for Marcus. Marcus. Do not ever dance again, please.
Oh, come on, you know I love
Get
it.
back in your camera position, please.
I'm handheld.
Again, folks, we're just going to do with everybody that's here now. So, first person I'd like to introduce is the play-by-play man of IWC, who will be hosting the event today. And first, I do want to take the time to thank everybody for coming out and supporting something like this. We've tried it in the past, and generally between 5 and 6 people would buy tickets, and then we cancel. So it's nice to see that, again, much like the dinner last time at the Carriage Inn after the wrestling show, that we truly are a family, and you guys really do support us. And the Carriage Inn was packed at the last show, as you well know, and hopefully the Carriage Inn will be packed tonight too. All you over 21 with a tie on for Easter, I hope. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm Catholic too, so whatever. But anyway, we'll have one drink. Ladies and gentlemen, the play-by-play man for IWC, Ignition Online, soon to be on YouTube, Mr. Joe Dombrowski. How's everybody feeling tonight? Response like that is okay for your run-of-the-mill IWC show. But this is Super 85. Is it good to be here or what? I have a couple very special question-and-answer panel sessions here with, of course, the Super Indie stars that we'll see at Super Indy 5 a little bit later tonight. But first, I'd like to welcome a very special guest making his return to the International Wrestling Cartel for the first time in about a year and a half. A mentor to me, a colleague to me, one of the best announcers you'll ever see in this business. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return to talk about his brand new book, this side of the mic, Mr. Jeff Gorman. Jeff, it's been a long road we've been on together, and it's great to see you back here in the International Wrestling Cartel. Great to see you with that book this side. How does it feel to be here?
It feels fantastic. I really missed all of you guys a lot. It's great to see a bunch of old friends, and I'm glad that I could be here for Super Indy. This has really grown in a big way. Super Indy #1 back in 2002. It was a nice show. It was a great show. I was the only announcer. I did ring announcing and all the commentary myself. And to see that event grow to the point where we have a press conference and video walls and everything, it's just great to see how IWC and this show has gotten so big in the last few years.
Absolutely right. You talked about how IWC has grown in the past several years, and there might be some fans here, believe it or not, who don't remember Jeff Gorman. They don't know your story. So to start out here, this Q&A, let's backtrack. Let's talk about your past in the business, IWC, Ring of Honor, etc., and what led you to leave the sport at the end of 2004.
Well, Joe, there's lots of people who don't know who I am. I started out in '94. That's when I got into the business back home in Ohio. And then 1 year later, Norm Connors gave me the chance to announce for Steel City Wrestling, which was a great promotion back in the mid-'90s. And that's really a lot of what this book is about. It's not just about me. It's really about the history of the Pittsburgh territory for the last 10 years, going back until about 1995. And there's really a lot of cool stuff in here for those of you who were back there. It'll bring back a lot of memories from some of the great shows that happened. And for those of you who didn't, you can really learn a lot of the background of wrestling around here and some of the IWC stars, pretty much their background too, as well as me. It's kind of like a journey that we take together through the years, and it leads up to IWC. And like you said, it got down to the end of 2004. My last show was A Call to Arms 2. Of course, you see me out here every month, but I actually live in Ohio. It's very far away. And my wife and I had a very young daughter, and it was really hard on her and us to make these big trips over and over, as well as the other promotions I was working for. So I had to make the tough decision to step away from it for a while. And I've really missed it a lot. That's why it's so good to be back. I'm going to be announcing with Joe tonight. Joe's the man now. He's taken the ball and run with it as the play-by-play guy, and I'm really proud of him, especially considering, how old are you, what, 20?
Yeah.
Okay, who's interviewing you? If you're 20, I didn't even get started until I was 24, and he's broadcasting all over the world, which is amazing. But, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm going to be doing color with him as the play-by-play guy, so that's going to be a lot of fun tonight, as well as it's just going to be a great show considering everybody who's on this card tonight.
Absolutely right. It's great to see you back. Of course, we're ready for some fan questions, I believe, in a moment. We're talking about this side of the mic. Do you want to read an excerpt from the book?
I could.
Okay, why don't we have Jeff read an excerpt from his book, okay, guys? Read about the part where you say how great I am. Right, that part right there where my picture is real big, that's perfect. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to read a little section from the chapter called On with the Sideshow. This is when Steel City Wrestling got back going again. We were running shows in Irwin, Pennsylvania at Sideshow Pizza. And it talks about pretty much the second portion of Steel City Wrestling from the time we started again in '98 up until about 2000. And it talks about a situation with Mark Madden. Mark Madden used to be my color commentator, and I know he's like a big broadcaster around here. He was in WCW for a while as well. So I'll just read you this little section. It won't take too long. This section is called The Anti-Gorman. My perfect broadcast partner as far as being a contrast to me was Mark Madden. He was my color commentator on the Steel City TV show. He was great at playing an obnoxious heel, and he gave good insight into the matches as well. Madden would later go on to replace Bobby the Brain Heenan as the color man on WCW Nitro. Often Madden's one-liners were the only reason to watch that show. On our show, Madden sometimes got sidetracked by bragging about being a big shot in WCW. At the time, he was a host on the WCW Hotline, and he was also a friend of the New World Order, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Six-Pac, a fact that he mentioned often. Although Madden was a heel, he saved his best insults for fellow heel referee Chris Wood. Madden would also often say that Wood was wanted for unspeakable crimes in several states. Wood, as a heel referee, once cost Julio Sanchez a match against Joey Matthews by counting Julio out of the ring very quickly. What was that? Asked Madden. It's like my life went into fast forward. We only used Madden for a couple of TV tapings before he was replaced by Dave Prazak. Eventually, Prazak would become one of the best announcers in the Indies with IWA Mid-South and Ring of Honor. Madden sometimes showed up in the crowd for IWC shows in the early 2000s. He would sometimes serenade me from the crowd with chants of Fredo, Fredo, for my alleged resemblance to Fredo Corleone from The Godfather. Once Madden made a special appearance for an angle in the IWC. Before the show, he said, Jeff, I'm going to do something with you in the ring. Don't worry, it won't hurt. Hey, he said it wouldn't hurt. Okay, I'm in. Madden came to the ring, and before he proceeded with his angle, he grabbed me and kissed me on the lips. Fredo, I know it was you. You broke my heart. It was the kiss of death from The Godfather. I was so stunned, the only thing I could do was cower behind my wife Jennifer in a desperate attempt to reassert my heterosexuality. Before we get on to the questions, I want you to know that this book will be on sale tonight, so I hope all of you would like to buy it, and I'll be happy to sign it for you. Even if you buy it during a match, if I'm over here commentating with him, just come right up to me and I'll sign it for you as we're calling a match. Thank you.
Hey guys, and incidentally, very much, with the exception of maybe 3 years, everything I've done in this business up until the end of 2004, Jeff has been there right beside me through the good and through the bad. And unfortunately, as a promoter, and I mean, you guys know, you watch wrestling, you know how much crazy stuff happens every single day. But Jeff has always been there for me, for my family, and I share the same birthday. Although he's much older than me, thank you very much. 2 years. But, truthfully, he is right as far as it being a historical perspective of the local wrestling scene, including all of our times in every promotion that we raised hell in.
That's right.
So, and there was a lot of hell to be raised. So before I was a nice guy, I used to be a real jerk, and I'm sure some of that's chronicled.
Oh, a
there,
lot
too.
of that's in here. A lot of that's in
When
here.
I was Barney, yes, thank you. So check that out. Does anybody have any questions for Jeff before we move on? Okay, give it up for Jeff Gorman once again. Thank you, brother.
Seidel, Delirious, Troy, and Dawson. Give me one second. Tell them about the barbecue outside before the show starts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, certainly great to see Jeff Gorman back here in IWC buildings. I would like to remind you about the barbecue going on outside right now. You get a chance to fill your stomach before the extremely fun, super indie, fantastic celebrations take place later tonight. Here at Court Time Sports Center in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, right outside. I'm sure there's hamburgers, hot dogs, all kinds of food to whet your appetite. We have a long night ahead of us. I mean that in a very good way. In just a few moments, we are going to be joined by our first 4 Super Indie Tournament entrants. They will be right here to answer all of your questions and comments, address any concerns that may be on your mind just momentarily. And of course, it's going to be a great night tonight. We're going to talk to Delirious, Matt Seidel, Claudio Castagnoli, Troy Lords, of course, Alex Shelley, Petey Williams, Ricky Reyes, as well. The entire field of 8 going to be here. Glenn Spector, of course, as well, to address everything you have in mind. And don't forget about a huge main event as well. The 6'8", 350-pound monster Abyss, the weapon of mass destruction, is here. He will go one-on-one. That's right. One-on-one. For the first time ever, one of the most dangerous, one of the most lethal men in wrestling, the man with a reputation second to none, the Rottweiler himself, Low Ki. Get both on top of the monster, or will Abyss hit the detonator? We will find out a little bit later tonight. What's your opinion?
Troy, Double C, and Delirious.
All right, are you guys ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the 4 panelists to join us at this time. First of all, the man who claims to hail from the edge of insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Delirious. The Swiss money-made man, a man recently returning from a recent tour of Mexico. Please welcome Double C, Claudio Castagnoli. Ladies and gentlemen, next up a man who has made major strides into stepping up into one of the next big breakout stars here in IWC. One of the odds-on favorites, perhaps? Please welcome Balls Hot Troy Lords. And last but certainly not least, the man who's made major strides all over the United States as well as Japan as well, the very eccentric Wonder Man Glenn Spector. All right, ladies and gentlemen, certainly this panel we have Glenn. Can you go 2 minutes without touching somebody?
Dabrowski, you're lucky you got a face for radio, brother.
That was uncalled. There's a chair. You can just lift them up. All right, well, let's start with the panel. Let's start with Claudio Castagnoli, Double C here. Obviously, as I mentioned in your introduction, recently returning from a major tour of Mexico. You spent, I believe, 2 weeks or so in Mexico. Tell us about how that went. Any interesting stories, interesting stars, interesting events?
It was like more than 3 weeks, and it was a very good time.
Good enough for me. Delirious? Are you with us? Can we maybe get some English out of you, as opposed to this, the lizard, or anything?
Ask him if he's got a lizard face.
I'm very, well, Delirious, somehow he got through customs and went on a recent tour of Europe. He went to Germany, went to England, alongside Matt Sydal, who we'll talk to a little bit later on. Do you have any memories, any fond stories of touring Europe? Son? Okay, let's move on to Glenn. I know, never at a loss for words. Frequent guest of the IWC broadcast stage. Waterman Glenn Spector. Let's talk about your international success. I'm not going to get too close. Let's talk about your international successes. Competing over in Japan, several tours, a former tag team champion over there. We've heard a lot about it, but we haven't actually gotten a chance to sit down and talk to you about your experiences over in Japan. So enlighten us on some of the highlights and favorite memories you have from the land of the rising sun.
Oh, well, I would have to say, you know, winning the DT tag titles was great, but I think just being with my main man Dino was the, you know, that was the premier experience. Would you like me to elaborate?
No, I'm not going to pursue that any further. No. Family show. Time and place. Time and place. Now, of course, ball top Troy Lord.
The hotness.
The hotness himself. You mentioned it in your interview, Super Indie Spotlight on IWCWrestling.com. You may not have the international tours that some of these other individuals do, but you do have the heart and determination to step up and prove that you're on their level. And
He does it all the time.
I did not want to get in the middle of that. But certainly you've shown a lot of heart and determination in stepping up. That's what we've talked about for several months. Talent, stepping up, filling the void on top. I think you really cemented your place on top of that match with fabulous John McChesney at A New Beginning. Was that not an awesome match or what? What does it mean to you personally to be able to silence the critics and the cynics and be able to prove you are one of IWC's elite?
Joe, this is what I work for right here. For these people, for this press conference. Look about Delirious, Claudio, and Glenn too. Yeah. All these superstars, they've been to Mexico, they've been to Japan, they've been to Europe. All's hot's going to Elizabeth. He's going into the Super Indie tournament. He's going to the finals. He's winning the title for his fans, and he's shutting up all the critics. What's it about, Joe?
It is what it's about. About ready to take some fan questions as well. I don't know if my colleague Norm Connors is around here anywhere gathering questions. You're gonna fall asleep that way. Come on. Is anybody in the crowd, to get off of the lyrics, does anybody in the crowd have any questions right now? Right? You in the back have a question?
Couch in the back!
Not even gonna respond to that, but you, sir, have a question.
Yeah.
Who is your question for, sir?
Glenn Spector.
What is your question?
It's a two-parter. Do you have a website, and can I have a hug?
I think I covered both questions right there. I'm going to ask why you asked that. Who wants to talk to the star? Claudio Castagnoli, we got Delirious, we have Glenn Spector, we have Troy Lords. Anybody have a question for the masses here?
Sorry. I had to make a phone call. Sorry. This is for Claudio. Fan wants to know, how do you compare the European scene to the United States scene since you've been here for a while?
It's basically almost the same, except like everybody speaks different languages in Europe, and apart from that, in the America, it's like wrestling is more established, so the crowds are bigger, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same.
All right, we're getting out. Super Indy tournament, how have you trained for this differently than a regular show match?
Found out this being my first Super Indy, my first tournament, it's really hard to train. Every match I like to see who I'm competing against, see their style, but so many guys, so many different styles, just trying to keep up cardio and keep up the pace, and I think I'm going to do pretty good when it's all said and done.
For Delirious, how did you come up with your character?
And I was the last, and
I think I cleared that up. As a follow-up, are you ready for this? On Tuesday, or Wednesday, forgive me, I actually had a day off, which, if you know in our business, for a funeral director is a miracle. So I'm sitting at home, and as a funeral director, you always have your police scanner. It's just normal to monitor for your job. So there's a call for disturbance for new tenants for an apartment. So, you just listen in, whatever. So the cop gets on from the scene, requesting backup. And, he says, 136, go ahead. 136 requesting backup, gives the address, Sinking Spring. You know what I hear in the background as the cop requests backup? It is a wagon, it is a cars, and it is a red process, and then we go to the step into the road, and go to the back of the day, and we get on. Nothing like this, and we were videos, and it was this Delirious moved in right up the street from me. No kidding.
I'm sorry.
Question for Glenn Spector from Dr. Feelbad. He said, what three other men would you like to have in a four-way dance?
Well, I mean, man, 4 is a lot. First of all, I have a question for you. As Dr. Feelbad, is that like a supervillain name? Are we gonna fight sometime? Is that, for real? 4-way. I'm a Vigo guy, Viggo Mortensen, Lord of the Rings. I'm really. Or do you mean a match?
Yes.
Oh, that kind of dance, like a fight dance. Oh, 3 more guys. How about Troy Lords, Delirious, and Claudio Castagnoli, because they're right here. Let's get something straight. I'm a lot of fun in games, and I really like all you guys and all that stuff, honestly. But I'm here for one reason. I'm here for one reason only. Super Indy title. So I gotta be serious for a minute. I gotta be serious for a minute. And you know what? The thing is, don't get me wrong, because I respect Troy Lords and I respect Delirious. I think he has a lizard face under that mask, but I respect him anyway. That's not hot, but I respect his wrestling ability. All right? And I respect Claudio Castagnoli because that outfit is pretty hot, actually. But this is, it's Super Indy. This is what it's all about, guys. In Western PA, there is no tournament more prestigious than this, so get ready for a show.
More questions from the capacity crowd. Anybody have a question for Mr. Castagnoli, Mr. Spector, Mr. Lords, or, of course, Mr. Delirious?
Yes.
Question for Delirious.
This one's for Delirious. I read on the internet you signed with TNA. Is that true?
What was that?
I'm with IWC, I'm about TNA.
You heard on the internet you have signed with TNA. Is this true, sir?
Okay then, let's keep those hands coming here. They're ready to answer your every concern. Yes, sir. Who is your question for?
I got two. It's one. The first one's for everybody. Who's your favorite person to watch now? And the second is for Glenn. Is there any funny stories with Dino in Japan?
Let's get the Glenn question out of the way first.
Funny versus sexy.
Glenn, do you have a story that'll make us all queasy?
Make you all queasy. Well, the first time I met Dino, well, here, you know what? I'm going to need a volunteer. Can you give me my volunteer? Let me show you how Dino shook hands with me. Okay? I was like, hi, I'm Glenn Spector. And Dino was like, I'm Dino. And that's not a work, if any of you people know what that means. What was the other question was how,
Who do you watch?
who are we watching? Who are we watching?
Who do we like to watch?
Oh. Who do I like to watch? Well, I'm a Vigo, man. I don't know if you guys have seen Lord of the Rings, but you're talking about wrestling. Me, I like anything with Yuji Nagata in it. He's my favorite.
This is Super Indie, and one of the best wrestlers still today, I'd have to say AJ Styles. Close second, John Cena. Close second.
What are you trying to turn the crowd on you?
I think we don't have time for that, so why don't you guys keep him first?
Okay, name real quick, favorite wrestler to watch? It'll break your back and make you humble. Let's give it up to our panel.
And real quick,
I will make you humble.
On behalf of the fans and everybody at IWC, we want to thank you, all four of you, for making it to this point and for participating in our tournament. Thank you very much, and good luck to all four of you.
Doesn't need a chair when he's out here, he takes two with him. Well, a brief moment of technical time out here while we get our next panel ready. Of course, momentarily we are going to be joined by Alex Shelley, by Pete Williams, by Ricky Reyes, and by Matt Seidel as well. Start thinking of questions, guys. This is your opportunity. No holds barred, uncensored, unedited. Get their thoughts on anything you may want to know about. They'll be out here in just a couple of seconds. Of course, Super Indy 5 still to come tonight. So many great matches, but one story we need to touch on for Super Indy 5, the Unholy Alliance, of course, barred from this press conference. They have a mystery man intact. Hentai, out of a six-man tag to focus on the Super Indy High Challenge, it's Shirley Doe, Sebastian Dark, and God knows who, taking on Dean Radford, Dennis Gregory, and John Boland. Who do they have up their sleeve? Who do they have to join in their fight against the International Wrestling Cartel? We'll find out a little bit later tonight. Of course, the tag titles will be on the line as well. Mickey and Marshall Gambino will defend against former tag team champions M-Dog 20 Matt Cross and Joshua Fishing. Getting a lot of M-Dog and Josh fans here tonight, just before we go. Plus, we got these great pre-show matches coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our second panel of stars here. Our first guest is a breakout star in the Midwest, Ring of Honor star, recently completing a tour of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt Seidel. Making his debut here in the IWC, you know him as a Rottweiler, you know him as a Havana Pitbull. tonight, here is Ricky Reyes. And we are momentarily waiting our final two panelists here that will be joining us. They are in the building. They are on their way over to this area. And while we're waiting, let's just start talking to Mr. Seidel, Mr. Reyes. I hope I'm going to have better luck with you than I did with Delirious. But you recently did complete a tour of Europe. Germany, England. How'd that go? How long were you there? Any major highlights? Any favorite stories from that trip?
No, I was there for 11 days in Europe. We started off in Germany, in Essen, where the fans actually get to stand ringside and hit on the ring while the show's going on. And it's at a metal rock club, and there's no room to sit down. Everybody stands up, and you actually stand ringside and get to bang on the mat. So that was cool. And then I wrestled in England for a couple days, learned some nice British words, all the necessities. It was a good trip all in all. Delirious got into a little conflict while we were in Austria. In Austria, in Vienna, there's a lot of street performers downtown. And Delirious and street performers don't get along too well. There will be a DVD coming out. Be sure to watch that one.
All right, I believe we are ready to welcome our other two panelists here. Ladies and gentlemen, first welcome a former X Division champion, the master of the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Rulio. And ladies and gentlemen, all around one of the best technical wrestlers in the world today. Now he's known as the man behind the paparazzi cam. Please welcome Alex Shelley. All right, I'll give you a few moments to gain your bearings. I'll move over here to Ricky Reyes. Obviously, we know a lot about you from the Havana Pitbulls. We know a lot about you from the Rottweilers. A lot of people might not know about your beginnings in this business, may not know about your background. Certainly a multi-sport superstar. So tell us all about how Ricky Reyes came to be in this business.
Well, I trained originally out of Los Angeles, the Inoki Dojo, New Japan, USA. Did a couple of years of mixed martial arts fighting, did a couple of fights, and just branched out from there, Ring of Honor, CMLL Mexico, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and just travel everywhere, Europe, anywhere wrestling takes me.
All right, moving over to Petey Williams. A lot of people may know the story, a lot of people may not. Let's just get out of the way right now. The talk of Petey Williams is always about what Mike Tenay and myself always refer to as that sick-flip pile driver, that Canadian Destroyer. Why don't you tell those who may not be in the know about the origins of that maneuver?
Well, Scott D'Amore taught me the move, just so you know, and he's my trainer, and the name is actually a better story of where it came from. The name the Canadian Destroyer comes from the person that trained Scott D'Amore, and Scott trained me. His name was Doug Chevalier, the Canadian Destroyer. He wore a mask, God rest his soul, and that's how the name came about.
As to Alex Shelley, of course, is making a lot of waves in recent months, thanks in part to that paparazzi cam on TNA television. A lot of very interesting footage. Christian Cage, Sting, many others. Talk about the origins of the paparazzi cam, how it started, how it evolved into being what it is today, and how intricate do you think it is into helping your career in recent times?
Dutch Mantel used it as a prop in Puerto Rico, and he drew great ratings with it apparently, so they decided to give it to me. That's not much else to it, honestly. As far as importance goes, it's another platform for me to get my personality across, but it's just a prop.
All right, we have four of the world's best here. North Connor's gathered some questions. Anybody want to get a quick question off on North Connor to get some questions? Anybody have a quick question? Don't be shy. All right, let's start right over here. Who's your question for, sir?
Petey Williams. Who is your favorite Canadian wrestler of all time?
Favorite Canadian wrestler of all time?
Yeah, Norm said it. It's me. Come on. I'd probably have to say Bret Hart. I mean, I grew up. I mean, I grew up watching Brett and idolizing him, and when he did the whole Canada thing, against the U.S., that was a big stepping stone for Canadian wrestlers. As well as, big fan of Chris Benoit and Christian, and, who else is there?
Edge.
Edge, Jericho. Not my favorites. I'm just, naming my favorites. But yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Question for the entire panel. If you were not in the Super Indie tournament, who would your odds-on favorite be to win it? We'll start with you, Mr. Reyes.
Delirious.
Any particular reason?
Because he's funny.
Works for me, Pete.
Like somebody, okay, who's in it? As for who else? Delirious,
Claudio Castagnoli, Ballstar Troy Awards, and Glenn Spector.
I'd put my money on either, I'd say the final's gonna be Claudio and Glenn.
Alrighty, Mr. Shelley.
Claudio.
Any reason why?
Claudio's awesome.
Can't argue with you there, Matt Seidel?
Yeah, absolutely, Claudio.
Claudio.
Seems to be our favorite. Okay, Matt, of course, you're no stranger to prominent tournaments in professional wrestling. You're, of course, a former winner of the TPI, the Ted Petty Invitational over in IWA Mid-South. Why don't you talk a little about that tournament and what that victory has meant to you?
Well, that tournament was just another line of tournaments in pro wrestling. They're very popular these days, so all the wrestlers have to train to be ready to wrestle 3 times a night over 2 days. You have to be ready to do it. You have to be ready to do it every weekend. And so that's kind of the pace I've been setting for myself lately. Just as much as I can get.
And in the same vein, Pete Williams, of course, you a past winner of the ECW Super 8 tournament, one of those prestigious tournaments in wrestling. Why don't you talk about that?
All right, I was just there for the 10th anniversary last Saturday, and I mean, one of the most memorable moments I had was with this guy right here. Had one of the best matches I ever had with him, and it was in the semifinal of the tournament, and I mean, ironically enough, it was the last time, myself and Alex Shelley ever stepped in the ring in a singles competition. So, I guess, if it goes for this tournament too. If you never want to wrestle the guy again that you're wrestling with, have a great match with him.
Any more questions from the capacity crowd here? We have a question back here. You again. Don't ask for another hug. I'm serious. No one here wants to hug you. What?
Serious question.
For who?
Everybody.
Okay.
What is your favorite crowd to work in front of?
Favorite crowd to work in front of? Mr. Reyes, we'll start with you. You've been all over the world, as has, well, everybody on this panel. Favorite crowd?
Big crowds, huge crowds, thousands and thousands of people.
All right, that's pretty self-explanatory. Pete?
Obviously Canadians.
More self-explanation there. Alex Shelley?
The Japanese crowds are real respectful, but honestly, there's good and bad crowds everywhere. I think the crowds here from last time I was here were pretty good. The PWG crowds, the ROH crowds, there really aren't very many bad crowds, really.
And Matt Seidel.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania!
Oh, that one down.
Anybody else have any questions from the... Okay, we have a question over here. Yes, sir. Who is your question for today? Everybody.
What's your favorite match you've had this far in your career?
Favorite match? Let's start with Matt Seidel. Favorite match?
January 14th of this year against AJ Styles.
Any match where I don't get hurt goes on the good side, but
Chris Sabin and I wrestled at the first TNA house show, and I thought we had a really good match there. So in recent memory, that one.
It was the TNA house show and I had to wrestle ICP. It was great.
So your final answer?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't remember.
All right, and Ricky Reyes.
Ring of Honor's first triple shot we did 2 weeks ago against Chad Collier in Detroit.
All right, there you have it. Any more questions? Don't be bashful. Only got a few minutes left with this cavalcade of stars here. We have a question somewhere around here. We have a question. You. Yeah. What would you like?
This is a question to Pete. What is a superstar dream match for you, and what federation would you like to host it?
All right, superstar dream match for Petey Williams.
Like me versus somebody else, or two guys, what?
Or if it's anything. Tag team, whatever. Who would you like to face in the ring, and what crowd would you like to have in front of?
God, I don't know. I'd have to say, you know, if I was able to, I'd probably have to wrestle, you know, Brett in front of a Canadian crowd. Or, you know, something in TNA that could probably happen. You know, maybe Samoa Joe, you know. Once again, in front of a Canadian crowd. Maybe home court advantage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all the time we have today for the panel. Let's thank our panel, Matt Seidel, Alex Shelley, Petey Williams, and Ricky Reyes. Thank you all for participating in the T25 press conference. We're going to get underway shortly. I will turn the floor over now to your comment. Hey guys,
Exclusive fans, we have the pre-matches here before Super Indy 5. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not delay any further. Let's get some of our matches underway.
My chump dressed up for this.
I know. Cut. It's on. All you gotta do is just go extra. You have a preference? Huh? You're the boss. You have a preference? It's good.
This is the Super Indy 5 press conference special bonus matches here tonight at Super Indy 5. We are at the Court Time Sports Center in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Joe Dombrowski, joined by a very special guest. Let's welcome back to the IWC broadcast booth, the author of the brand.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way towards the ring area, weighing in at 220 pounds, Vendetta!
The author of the brand new book, this side of the mic, Mr. Jeff Gorman.
Thank you, Joe. It's great to be back here in the IWC. It's been 16 months, and I wrote a book. It's done. It's having the world premiere right here tonight at Super Indy. I'm excited about seeing Vendetta and Jimmy Delicious. Is that right?
So you wrote
DeMarco and everybody else here in IWC.
You wrote the book on wrestling commentary.
Literally.
Jokingly, last week I was going to say, last month rather, I was going to say, Norm, you put me in the popcorn match, what more can you do? Maybe I can wrestle in the middle of the afternoon. And what do you know, here I am in the middle of the afternoon, wrestling in a match. That's fantastic. And not only am I wrestling in the middle of the afternoon, but I'm a curtain jerker now.
He's got a curtain to prove it.
Thank you for me being a curtain jerker. That is fantastic. But, Norm, that's fine if you were to do things like that. And again, you put me against Jimmy DeMarco, who I've already beaten. That's fine. You know what? I sent a tape to Vince, okay? Vince saw the JTM stuff. He loves it. He loves it. I'm ready to leave, Norm. This is it. Any more of this, and I'm gone.
He sent it to Vince Russo?
I thought he meant Lombardi.
Oh.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, this guy's been delusional for a while. Well, at least we were led to believe that with the Jesse Titan Mark vignettes where he impersonated all of the various stars of his childhood, Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle, etc.
Matt Hardy.
That's true as well. And we saw a couple months back him just give this verbal flare out at Norm Connors, complaining about being turned into a comedy act when he's a serious wrestler.
Well, I don't see how he has any cause to complain about anything considering he just got started. You gotta show some respect.
His opponent from Ozone Park, New York, weighing in at 195 pounds, he's 1/3 of the Gambino Brothers Moving
5, where we saw the former Jesse Titan Mark, the current Vendetta's true colors. He accused Jimmy DeMarco of the fact that the only reason he is on the roster is because he's the cousin of the tag team champions. A low blow, if you ask me, and certainly not true.
Of course it's not true. Here in the IWC, you have to be able to deliver in the ring to make it onto a show, especially Super Indy. Even the pre-show is something big.
Oh, absolutely. This has got to be the most loaded show in IWC history, and it's a privilege just to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form.
That's right. I was mentioning during the press conference, Super Indy's grown so much since it started in 2002. You know, I announced that one all by myself, and now we've got, you know, of course, several announcers and, you know,
got some friends.
A press conference. We got a barbecue. This has really turned into an enormous event, and we've got a pre-show that's starting right now.
It is Vendetta going one-on-one with Delicious Jimmy DeMarco as they circle one another. This is Vendetta's second professional match. His first match was a victory over DeMarco last month at the Road to Super Indy 5. Thanks to a pair of brass knuckles, however, rather dubious victory.
So you really wonder what he's complaining about. He's off to a 1-0 start. He's facing the guy he beat before, so he's got to have some confidence. But obviously this guy's got an attitude, and he's roughing up DeMarco right now.
Vendetta was able to fire away with those forearm shots after backing DeMarco into the corner. Duck of the clothesline by the quicker Delicious. Second time now. Charging with a jumping clothesline. Takes the bigger man down. And we've seen DeMarco withstand a lot of fights in the past. Remember when Jake Garrett was chasing the guy around? Of course, when his arm was broken, with cover, 2 kick out. DeMarco can survive out there among the best and most brutal.
That's right. When you're associated with the Gambino moving company, you know, that's got some benefits and it's got some drawbacks. Sometimes that'll make you a target.
Look at the clothesline by Vendetta. And there's a standing Uranagi suplex. Count of 2 and a kick out. I'm not sure if he'd want us to call that a rock bottom or not, but regardless, it was, well, very similar to one.
Well, he'll probably have his own name for it once he hooks up with Vince.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Clemmy sent a tape to Vince, and Vince is ready to sign him. One more inappropriate act from Norman, he's gone. Give me a break. He said not even 2 matches.
I've never seen the first person on a show call out the promoter like that.
Certainly setting precedent. Great snapmare out of the corner. They do a rear chin lock.
Well, he looks good in the ring. I mean, considering that he's just getting started, really the best thing for him to do is just keep his mouth shut and let his ability do the talking for him.
Certainly very well put together as well. You see, he has some serious gym time under his belt as the referee chest flexor checking on the submission and status of Jimmy DeMarco.
Chest flexor, he probably had some gym time of his own under his belt.
Well, the first referee hailing from Muscle Beach, and it's clear to see why.
I'm surprised he's wearing a shirt.
Well, if he flexes his bicep, it might fall off, but there's a rake of the eyes by Vendetta. Overhead suplex, DeMarco counters, can't land on his feet, but a quick roll-up. Cover, only count of 1. Certainly nowhere near enough leverage on the part of DeMarco, who gets flattened with a lariat.
And Vendetta likes to use that lariat.
Cover, hook of the leg, and a count of 2.
Kind of his go-to move. You saw him waiting for DeMarco to get up. He knew DeMarco wasn't sure where he was, and he caught him with it again. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with keeping things basic, especially in the early formative years of your career.
Vendetta pressing the advantage now. This is the 2 most inexperienced members of the roster going one-on-one. Hangman's neck breaker. DeMarco lands high on that neck.
And the best thing for these guys to do is after their match is to sit back and watch everybody else, all the accomplished stars who are on the main show and also in the Super Indy tournament. This is really going to be, this entire night is going to be a big learning curve for them.
Vendetta may not feel he needs it. I mean, he's got Vince on speed dial. Vendetta with a slam. Are you serious?
Here we go.
He got upset at Norm for typecasting him as a guy that parodies wrestlers, and he's going out here parodying wrestlers.
Oh, he's not going to do it.
There we go. That's Vendetta.
Okay, he's making a name for himself now.
We saw the evolution there from Jesse Titan Mark to Vendetta, and that's a count of 2 on Jimmy DeMarco.
But now the question is, can he put him away? He's got that big move, the Vendetinator, and we'll see if that can bring him a victory if he can hit it.
Look out. Might have been going for that meat to an end, but DeMarco claps his head in the head, so he just drives the back of his head down to the canvas.
Well, Jimmy DeMarco's a tough kid. He's proven his toughness again and again in and out of the ring. And it's not going to be easy for Vendetta or anybody to beat him.
Oh, you've got to be tough to be a relative of the Gambinos based on the alleged business they have been known to dabble in.
Right, you know, moving.
Yeah, something or other. Great technique on that suplex. DeMarco hangs on to the front chancery, takes him over one more time. Now he's going to hang on again.
Great snap on those suplexes. Vendetta doesn't want to see number 3.
Marco trying to neutralize that power of Vendetta. Drops him with a DDT right on that head once more. Lateral press, deep hook, 2. Vendetta escapes.
Only 2, and you have a situation where these two have been matched up against each other. One of them wants to sort of establish a clear victory in order to move on to other opponents. And we're going to see that later in this show with Gory and Shima Zion, who have been matched up each other many times.
Look at the clothesline. Vendetta, they are countered. But look out. Jockeying for position. Means to an end coming up. But DeMarco drops him again.
DeMarco doing a good job of learning from his previous experience against Vendetta.
Exactly. That's how Vendetta won last month. And DeMarco just dropping Vendetta on his head. And Vendetta grabbing the referee, who did not detect that low blow. Vendetta! Wham!
Very nice.
Did you see his body bend?
And
Vendetta, as much as you got to give it up to DeMarco. Good. Wait a second.
He kicked out of the Vendetta.
How did he get out of it? His body bent in half, and he still kicked out.
Well, I guess very early we can say that Jimmy is the first guy to kick out of the Vendetta.
My gosh.
He's going to his bag of tricks, it looks like.
He's going to that curtain. Claiming he's upset at being a curtain jerk. Wait, there's those Knucks. They were hidden in a box of popcorn last month. Now they were in the curtain.
Well, the ref caught him.
And, are you kidding me? They were his Knucks. Disqualification.
He's got him back, Joe.
Oh, no. Vendetta just laid him out in the jaw. Vendetta with a shot to the jaw of Jimmy DeMarco. A cheap shot after the bell.
We'll get the official word in just a second.
We need to get Vendetta out of the damn ring first.
Here we go. Here come the Gambinos.
The cousins of Jimmy DeMarco have to stand up for their ally and their family member.
And Vendetta's wasting no time getting out of here. Well, let's see what the official word is from referee Chest Flexor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest as a result of a disqualification, Vendetta!
DeMarco got caught. He didn't even get a chance to use them.
The Knucks weren't even his. He was trying to point them out to Chest Flexor. Flexor thought he was going to use a foreign object, disqualified him immediately.
And that means Vendetta's still undefeated.
And those were Vendetta's Knucks, and obviously this score, a lot more to be settled here between Vendetta and Jimmy DeMarco. The Knucks keep coming into play.
And now the wings will come into play.
Grab a chair.
Sorry.
Shut your mouth! Get up off your feet, get it! Cause the Cleveland Mafia's up in Super Indy 5! Right here, get it! You take a good look! We ain't playing tonight! Them boys die at Super Indy 5!
And his tag team partner, Ray Rowe!
The Cleveland Mafia, J-Rock, and Raymond Rowe in the ring. Joe Dombrowski, wait a second.
The Cleveland Mafia!
There you go, Joe Dombrowski alongside Jeff Gorman.
And who's this kid?
And guest analyst Sean Collier. I thought he was with you.
No, he didn't go with me, actually. Good to see you, Sean.
Mr. Gorman, honored to work with you. Very nice to meet you. Thanks, Joe, for having me back once again.
Certainly.
We still got the Cleveland Mafia here, and J-Rock finding himself a new partner. These guys are going to be very tough.
And there's a score to be settled here as well with their opposition.
What? Tell them what? Who are they wrestling? Yes.
J-Rock, something of a tag team specialist here in IWC, a decided advantage coming into this match and working with an old partner of his, Raymond Rowe, from the Cleveland area.
That's right. In fact, Raymond Rowe just wrestled in the retirement match of his mentor, Beef Stew Lou Marconi. I know Marconi was gone from the ring for about 5 years, rehabilitating a back injury. But wait, here comes...
Introducing their opponents at a total combined weight of 417 pounds. Here is our company, Jason Page, and his tag team partner.
Whoa! The Cleveland Mafia Rowe and J-Rock jump-starting this matchup.
Well, they are Mafia.
The bell sounds, and we are underway. The Cleveland Mafia taking at hot property, Jason Cage, as well as Dirk Ziggler. A lot of scores to be settled in this matchup as well, stemming over the past few months here at Court Time Sports Center.
But as much as J-Rock is a veteran here, you certainly can't discount Dirk Ziggler, a veteran of the Western Pennsylvania scene, who's worked in every promotion in the Pittsburgh area. Looking impressive so far in this contest, certainly.
Looks like the Mafia came in here with a plan, but now Ziggler and Cage have turned it around.
Double team offense. Ziggler elevates Cage into a crossbody. Cage and Ziggler have been a member of the IWC roster. Cage for a little over a year, Ziggler for a few years, but it looks like now that they're finally together, they may finally be finding their niche among the IWC roster. They may finally be ready to catapult to the stratosphere.
This match is going to be pretty important considering the tag team scene and who wins the match later tonight.
And that's a count of 2.
Tonight it's going to be the Gambinos against Burning River Brigade, and whoever wins this might be in line for a title shot. Isn't that right, Steve?
Sean, actually, but thanks for incorporating me. Yes, it seems that they would be in line for a title shot. And if Burning River Brigade is victorious tonight, it's worth noting that Josh Prohibition, along with Lou Marconi, did train Raymond Rowe, so that could be an interesting matchup to look for in coming months.
Anyway, Marconi did finally retire, and Rowe beat him in his final match, so now we see his protege in the ring, Ray Rowe. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do.
And Raymond Rowe is as tough as they come, as evidenced by that chop. A guy who studied a lot of mixed martial arts, a lot of various fighting styles, been training very aggressively for both professional wrestling and mixed martial arts, so you know he's a force to be reckoned with. Into the far corner goes Dirk Ziggler.
Well, I think the key is going to be how well Cage and Ziggler work as a team. For the first time we're seeing them together, I think the Mafia is going to be a little more cohesive. But it's going to be up to Ziggler to weather this assault because it's all Mafia right now.
Ziggler is certainly more well known as a singles competitor here in IWC dating back several years. And while we don't see him on every show, he does have an impressive win-loss record.
Right, and even though that J-Rock and Ray Rowe are the more established team, have known each other for many years, you cannot discount Ziggler and Cage, especially after their performance last month against the Cleveland Mafia.
We saw J-Rock getting into it with referee CJ Sensation, who actually competed in the very first Super Indie tournament in 2002 as Kid Sensation against Loki.
Absolutely right, very memorable moment that was. Now Cleveland Mafia, double team, knee to the midsection. J-Rock does the same, and Ray Rowe is a suplex machine, as evidenced right there.
That's right, there's the influence of Lou Marconi. He loved to throw the suplexes too, and you see Rowe has got his own style, and that's what we like to see. Isn't that right, Sammy?
Thank you. Anything you like, really, Jeff. But now you see with a lot of the quick tags, a lot of the double team maneuvers, the advantage of being an established team against two guys who haven't had a lot of experience together, how much of an advantage that can be.
Rowe in control of Dirk Ziggler. Ziggler gotta be reeling after that overhead suplex. Clearly a dazed expression on his face.
Ziggler desperately needs this tag to Jason Cage. Jason Cage with something to prove still one of the younger members of the IWC roster.
And this is the way the Cleveland Mafia wanted to start out their tag team cohesion in IWC. With a dominant, brutal beating over two of IWC's brightest future stars.
And this is such a big show because it's Super Indie. You know, a lot of people are going to see this tape. Pretty much everybody all night really has to turn in a strong performance, not only for future title shots, but you know, everybody around the wrestling world is going to see this and talking about maybe future bookings in other promotions. Absolutely. Wouldn't you agree, Salvatore?
I like that one. Not to use the cliche, but speaking of strong, take a look at these chops between J-Rock and Dirk Ziggler. Dirk Ziggler's starting to get the best of him, which is a bit of a surprise. Until that shot right there sends Dirk Ziggler to his knees.
Exchange made. Ray Rowe now the legal man. More suplex time? Triangle back suplex.
Rowe very powerfully built, and J-Rock's called for another one.
That maneuver is the kind of thing that's really advantageous in a match like this because it will disorient your opponent and give you some time to strategize where he cannot make that tag. And again.
One more time, Ziggler leverages out. And now Ziggler elevates the big man Rowe. Has the opportunity to get the tag to the fresh.
He's close.
Jason Cage.
He's very close.
Mafia tags.
There we go.
Jason Cage, the legal man now. A lot of stored up energy. J-Rock goes down. Ray Rowe goes down. Jumping side kick for J-Rock. A second for Rowe. Cage single-handedly taking care of the very dangerous Cleveland Mafia.
Cage is on fire here, and now he's going to need help from Ziggler if Ziggler can recover.
The Mafia maybe underestimated Jason Cage a little bit given his track record, but he is certainly having his way with them right now.
Oh, they hit hard.
Cage with a big scoop and a slam to Jared, setting up that Swanton bomb.
Here we go.
This is what polished the Cleveland Mafia off last month, I do believe.
Oh! Good presence of mind by Ray Rowe to break that up, and now J-Rock's going for pin.
Rowe had the move scouted. J-Rock there to capitalize, but he can't get 3.
Oh, he didn't really have him hooked. I don't see why J-Rock is complaining. Now the Mafia's going to try to put it away.
J-Rock going to set up for that one-hitter quitter.
Here it is.
Ziggler counter, scouts that.
Both these teams have learned from their past meeting. Isn't that right, Sean?
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Sean. It's good to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Oh!
As Dirk Ziggler eats some turnbuckle.
J-Rock sidesteps. Rowe setting up. Little chaos theory action.
Chaos theory!
He got
him! Big win for the Cleveland Mafia.
And as I said, it was that experience that allowed them to stay aware of where both men were at all times and pull out the win here on the day of Super Indy 5.
J-Rock and Ray Rowe certainly a force to be reckoned with in IWC's tag team scene. Victorious over Ziggler and Cage. Their series is even up at 1, gentlemen.
Well, gentlemen, thanks very much for having me. A pleasure to work with you.
Good to have you too, Sean.
That you got it right once again. Excellent. Joe, thank you as well.
My pleasure.
All right, take another bite.
Thanks again. See you soon. Sure.
Going to see now from Shima Zion and his ever eccentric entrances. Jeff Fletcher out here. We got the hairspray going. Are those rose petals being put in his feet?
I think they are.
Making his way to the ring area, escorted by his manager, and he represents from the Philippines, weighing at 175 pounds, Shima Zion.
Well, it seems like a portion of the fans have really started liking Shima Zion since the last time I was here 16 months ago.
He is the goth glamour god. He is the virgin slayer. He is the a bit of a surprise.
Really? Okay.
Words from Norm Connors himself endorsing certainly 2 of the best, if not the best, young talents in this area today, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's good to see them against each other again. They had a wonderful series. We're going to see it one more time.
Weighing at 180 pounds, from Hell's Kitchen, Idaho, Jason Gorey.
And Jason Gorey's got both sides of those face paint pointing down. That shows he means business. He's all about being successful at Super Indy 5, the most watched event on the IWC calendar year.
That's right. Gorey coming out to Anthem of the Year 2000 by Silverchair. And these two have really grown, and now they're meeting up again with each other one more time.
And of course, Shima Zion, as always, joined by the prophet of profit, the greatest man alive, the Mavrosexual, your baby daddy, whatever you want to call him, Chris Maverick.
Now, I need to ask the prophet of profit here just how many copies of This Side of the Mic by Jeff Gorman, which you can get at bn.com. How many of those I will sell tonight? bn.com, as in barnesandnoble.com. How many of those I'm going to sell tonight? I got to ask the prophet about that.
I really don't think you want to get tangled up in that kind of a relationship with that kind of an individual. That's not the right crowd for you, Jeff.
Okay, especially not with my wife here.
Yeah. Regardless of collar and elbow tie-up, Jason Gorey in control, centering with a wrist lock. These men had battles for months and months over who was the best newcomer to IWC, who was the star student of their training class.
And strangely enough, the big reason for that feud is because that voting ended in a tie. They were actually tied for first place.
Exactly
and
right.
so they had to kind of settle that, and it led to a long series of matches.
They had that final matchup last summer. Jason Gorey won, but Shima Zion hadn't let it go. In fact, he sent a letter writing campaign for people to vote for the best newcomer this year. He was disqualified, but he claims himself to be the only two-time Newcomer of the Year award winner. But he didn't win it any time. Wait, crisscross center ring, mid-ring collision. Zion gets the better of it. And I'll tell you, Jeff, you may have not noticed it considering how long he's been gone, but Zion has really bulked up, especially in recent weeks. He's in the best shape of his career.
I have noticed that. He really has bulked up. I mean, you can tell very easily. And no matter what you think about the reason why Zion wants a piece of Gorey for some, trumped up award that happened a couple years ago, the important thing is that he's very focused and he really cares a lot about winning this match. We're probably going to see an outstanding performance out of Shima Zion tonight.
Certainly, everybody here in the locker room for the International Wrestling Cartel, prepared to impress, prepared to steal the show. Irish whip reversal. Gorey. Great looking drop kick.
And he's right into his next move. You see how Gorey has really learned a lot, and now Zion comes right back. These two are learning not only how to hit moves, but to string them together.
Leg sweep. Gorey able to catch the head scissors. Tilt-a-whirl action takes him down. Beautifully done. You can tell already just how well both men know each other.
And now it looks like Gorey's got something in mind.
Maverick consoling Shima. Look out! Heel over the top. But Zion moved out of the way. Maverick gets wiped out.
Maverick took one for the team there.
And listen to these fans coming alive for IWC.
And this is just the pre-show, Joe.
Gorey neutralizing the threat of Chris Maverick at ringside. Now what's Gorey going for? Oh, he might be going for that Asai moonsault, but Maverick caught the foot.
That's a great move, but there was kind of too much traffic there. And he caught him.
Inverted DDT on the edge of the ring apron. That is where wood meets metal, Jeff.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've hit that before when I was thrown out of the ring back in 1995. That's in my book. Buy it.
They can read about it by going to bn.com.
Yeah, just punch in Jeff Gorman, it'll pop right up. But I'll stop plugging it for this match.
You'll stop plugging bn.com.
Yeah, I will stop.
And now it's Zion and Gorey back in the ring. Shima hammering away on the neck. That neck has been very injured, very ginger lately, thanks to sweet and sour Larry Sweeney using a couple of pile drivers in recent months.
That's right, Sweeney's such an old school competitor. Going with that pile driver, look out.
Wait a second, oh, you know what this is, Jeff. Even you should know, photo op time.
Ah, yes. Bring in the paparazzi, get the hair right.
This is disgusting.
Love me, say that you love me. And an Indian Deathlock. That's the Cardigans remix.
Zion doing a great job of trapping the body of Gorey so he can show off, of course. That's what it's all about for Shima Zion. That's that model attitude. He wants to be the center of attention. Zion, of course, the first Filipino male supermodel in wrestling.
And I think he's still the only one. After all this time, he's the first and the last and the only.
Let's be thankful of that. And now it's Zion back to his feet. Knife edge shot, of course, Jason Gorey sort of enigmatic, not much known about his past.
Well, I think that's the way he likes it. Gorey likes to surprise people with the innovative moves that he does. Gorey doesn't want there to be a big book about him, and he wants to do it in the ring.
Charging back elbow, follow through cover. Is that a segue to the book again? I'm not gonna.
No, I didn't. That was not on purpose. But you really, if there's one person that Gorey's not going to surprise, it's Shima Zion. That's why it's going to be so tough for Gorey to win this match.
Absolutely right.
I was very close to the throat.
Both men will have a good showing here. They know the world will be watching. Potential promoters, potential talent scouts. Beautiful roll-up by Gorey, gets a count of 2.
We have 2 count from referee Scott Coulter. Is that right?
Coulter.
Steve Coulter. Now that time I didn't do it on purpose.
Wait a second, Gorey threw for some extra momentum.
Whoa!
Springboard, but Zion gets the knee up to head him off with the pass. And we talked a little bit about Larry Sweeney. One of those pile drivers Gorey sustained a couple months ago was on the outside on this hard floor. You have to wonder if it's next 100% for this matchup. so far, no ill will. We haven't seen any bad signs so far, but this matchup still has a ways to go.
Well, unfortunately, that's very tough for Gory to suffer a neck injury so early in his career. He already has a very high-risk style, and when you get injured the way Larry Sweeney hurt him, that could really shorten your career, and I really don't want to see that, because I think these are two guys that I'm looking forward to seeing for a long time.
Look at Chris Maverick at ringside, holding on to the feet of Zion, who are on the ropes.
And we know Coulter's a conservative, but he has to make sure that he doesn't let this liberal abuse of the rules by Maverick.
How many rules can Zion break in one instance here? Certainly, Stephen Coulter's been the subject of a lot of controversy as of late with some of his recent decisions, but we'll leave that as it is. As Zion, was that a pull of the hair I saw?
It was quite a pull of the hair, and speaking of hair, maybe we're seeing a different hair color and different attitude by ref Steve Coulter, but I hope we don't. I hope that was just an isolated incident, what happened at Road to Super Indy 5.
I believe it was. Steve Coulter has a lot of integrity in there, but Gory elevates Shima, hits the shoulder right in the midsection. Zion springs in with the Crystal Pistol.
The Crystal Pistol, that's a great name for that move.
But he doesn't have enough to follow through instantaneously. But notice where that affected Jeff, right on the back of the neck, and he almost got 3.
He has that well scouted, and we talk about how important even these pre-show matches are. You know, both of these guys want to move up in the pack in the IWC. Whoever wins this Super Indy tournament tonight, one of these guys is going to want a shot.
And Zion, who just exhibited a blatant choke there for months, was trying to get a spot in Super Indy 5.
That's right, he was battling Troy Lords for that.
Yeah, he was upset that Troy Lords got given a spot in Super Indy 5 for his match with John McChesney, but McChesney, the champion at the time, could not beat Troy Lords in 20 minutes. That shows you Lords deserves to be fighting in that echelon.
That's right, and that's Norm Connor's decision as the promoter. We're really seeing a lot of people bucking his authority up and down the card, all the way up to, Shirley Doe and them, as we'll see later with the anti-IWC. It's not easy running the IWC, and everybody seems to be up in Norm Connor's face, and I kind of like to see that, unfortunately for Norm, but it just shows how hungry this talent is. Nobody wants to wait to get their spot, Joe.
Look at this, Gorman. Come on, 2 blatant chokes. Maverick with the punches in the corner. This is ridiculous.
And then Zion blowing kisses to the fans.
Oh, please. Very disingenuous, if you ask me.
Zion has things going his way, but he's got to hit one of these big moves that he has in his arsenal to put Gory away, but here's the reversal.
Gory charging, shoulder tackling. Zion's a great athlete, branching out to several promotions outside the area, but he's not letting himself wrestle. He's going to these dirty tactics. Blood blower by Gory.
And that bought Gory some time. Gory's been on the receiving end of a lot of punishment. He was able to knock Zion out. This might let Gory get his win back and possibly mount a rally.
This is the moment of rest that Gory needed. Oh, look at Maverick spraying hairspray at Shima Zion. Like that's going to do anything.
That might not help. You got to keep it out of his eyes.
Zion just keeps baffling me every month. Crowd a little bit split here, but as Shima Zion back to his feet first, ready to fire back, but Gory meets him shot for shot in the center of the ring. There's no keeping Jason Gory down. Sweeps the leg for extra impact on that DDT. Beautifully done.
And now Gory, he's starting to get that energy back, and he's able to follow up now. Let's see what he goes with.
Gory.
Here we go.
And a springboard.
Beautiful.
Great arc on that moonsault. Only gets a count of 2, however.
But now he needs to not get frustrated. Maybe follow up with something else. If he can ground him and go for another move off the top rope.
Right hand by Gory. Second time now. A third one. Blocked the kick and spiked him with a DDT.
Very nicely done. I got to give credit to these fans. We got a pretty nice crowd here for the press conference and the pre-show. A lot of these fans will be back in about an hour or so for the main Super Indy show.
I'm sure they'll all be back. Jeff, wait, we got an ear fall.
But it just shows, like I said, how big this event is getting, and it's nice to see it. This is actually the first Super Indy I've been to since the first one, because the birth of my daughter, a friend, and then, of course, it wasn't here last year. It's like it's exploded since the last time I've seen
only
Super
your
Indy.
Second tournament. You're almost like a rookie.
That's right, boss.
My 4th. I'm feeling old. Wait a second. Jason Gory going for the QAS.
That'll work, though.
Trying to counter over into Hurricane Rana. He blocked Zion's counter, but a roll through by Shima as well. Only gets a count of 2.
Gory right back in with the knee.
Forearm shot. Shima with a knee. Takes him over. Rapid fire crucifix bomb. Drops Gory right back on that neck again. Shima's got that sound strategy.
And I know these guys probably don't want to hear it, but they still are very evenly matched. I know each one wants to put the other guy away, but I think both these guys are just going to be elevated. Neither are going to stop until they reach the higher echelon in IWC.
Doing a kick out. Both these guys are playing can you top this, but they've hung with each other move for the last 7 minutes. Wait, from
Here
Lush
it
to
comes.
Dust. It's going to be it. No, Gory with a great block. Drapes his leg over Shima's. Gory counters. Masochistic healing.
No, Zion doesn't want to see it.
Elbows out, elbows to the temple. Goes from Lush to Dust one more time, another counter. Wait, look out. Oh my God, no. Filipino! The Filipino destroyer!
Oh boy!
The reverse from Lush to Dust.
I tell ya, Zion's come up with so much new stuff.
My God, if Gory's
and Gory has too, really. He's got a lot of new moves too, but Zion was able to hit the big one.
Wait, this has got to be it. If Gory's neck wasn't toast before, it's got to be now. Shima Zion is your winner.
Here is your winner, Shima Zion.
You know, Gory put up an outstanding fight. You got to give Zion a ton of credit for winning, but I got to think of that neck injury that was inflicted against Gory by Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney. I think that had something to do with the fact that Zion was able to hit that move and get the win.
And Gory and Sweeney will meet another day. You got to bank on it. But Shima Zion goes one step to proving he may belong to the Super 85. After all, the Dark Glamour God, the Goth Glamour God, gets the victory and, well, with some hairspray to celebrate.
You know, Norm said, wait till you see these guys. They've gotten a lot better since you've seen them last, Gorman. And he was exactly right.
A fantastic press conference, a fantastic pre-show extravaganza here. There's only one word left to go from here, Jeff Gorman. It's tonight.
Super Indy, baby.
Super Indy 5.
Super Indy 5. Yeah, just to think, it was last year. Gory, you and me, we're competing in our first ever Super Indy tournament. You know, a lot of people, they like to credit Fabulous John McChesney as the show stealer at Super Indy 4. Well, you know what? All due respect to Fabulous, but I haven't seen anybody talking about the hellacious beating and the performance that Gory and I put on at Super Indy 4.
That's true. Low-Key and Homicide took them to hell and back, and they survived and were walking at the end of the night.
They made a name for themselves even though they lost their matches.
Thank you. You're a year too late, but you know, the thought that counts. The Gory, I made your life a living hell for the last year. You know what? I beat you, you beat me, it's all good. I want to let you know, I respect you. Put it there, bud.
Wow. Don't expect that from Shima Zion.
I didn't, but it's very nice to see.
Absolutely.
Sooner or later, IWC, all you people, you're going to recognize Shima Zion. You're going to recognize Jason Gory, because we're the only true breakout stars left in this company.
Well, that may be a matter of debate, but certainly Jason Gory and Shima Zion among the top of the heap, and we saw that evidence right here in this fantastic pre-show matchup, Jeff.